Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
Oh, I'm not around. What the heck? Well, let me fix that. Activate, reactivate, deactivate, I mean. We're good. Audio good. Connection stable. Picture there. Welcome. My name is Ike. This is TAGN, the Angry Game News. Once, twice a week, at no specific times. I mean, I try to do it at 2 p.m. when I do the news. And on this news show, we talk about video games mainly. Sometimes about video shows, TV shows that is, and movies. Very rarely about manga and comics. Mainly because I don't have a lot of manga or comics. That's why I don't delve into that realm of entertainment and media. I'm more into the gaming overall, and that's the most important thing in life, gaming, isn't it? We got some news about the State of Play, which took place yesterday, Sony State of Play. Got a few very interesting pieces there. We're going to talk a little bit about the new CEO of Disney, who is there for Bob Iger, not taking the position of CEO from Bob Iger, which is just a weird wording from this article we're going to look at. For Bob Iger, not from Bob Iger. We're going to talk a little bit about Resident Evil, and we're going to talk about Highguard. Because Highguard, just like I thought, it's going to the shitter, and it's being shown in a very particular way. And I told everybody that a CEO who tells everybody you're not going to have a need for millions of players, as long as you have thousands of loyal players, you're going to be fine, no matter how much a game costs and all that nonsense, right? So yes, let's get into it right away. It's show number 121. Resident Evil Survival Unit devs literally measured playtesters' brainwaves to check how objectively scary the game actually is. Resident Evil Survival Unit is a free-to-play strategy game developed by South Korean studio Joy City and published by Aniplex, all in collaboration with Capcom. The title, released in late 2025, is set in a parallel universe corresponding to the timeline of Resident Evil 2 and 3. As Joy City's business lead John Sung Park explained in a recent interview with This Is Game, the company went as far as to measure the brainwaves of their focus test groups in order to get a more objective look, in quotation mark here, into how scary the game actually is. We conducted a biosignal-based focus group test, monitoring players' brainwaves, eye movements, and pulse to objectively measure their levels of tension and immersion. Even if we received positive responses through surveys, looking at actual biosignals could lead to a different conclusion. Through this data, we obtained meaningful results that helped us adjust the fear levels and immersion. Speaking about the fear factor of Resident Evil Survival Unit, Park also mentions that the team had a reference to the original games in order to capture the same unique feel on mobile devices. Sound design in particular was very important to maintain the horror aspect of Resident Evil. As an example, Park cites scenes that use only the sound of footsteps without background music to build tension. At first, I was worried whether this kind of approach would be effective, but seeing how surprised and tense players got in these moments made me feel relieved. Producer Dong Kyung Kye adds, as Park notes, Capcom's 30 years worth of accumulated know-how proved to be invaluable. Yeah, but this game still doesn't go anywhere, really. Biohazard's Survival Unit is, like mentioned here in the article, a free-to-play game. But it's not like giving you the feel, the anxiety in the game, like the fear level, the tension is not really there. But they tried. They tried with newer methods to compare it with the original games. But so far, the success, not really there. Not really there. Maybe it makes Capcom, though, some money because of licensing. I had no idea there was a State of Play. I'll have to check that out. It took place yesterday, yes. Resident Evil 4 Remake slammed on Steam for new DRM, Digital Rights Management System. Copy protection, you know, your data and that nonsense. That makes the game run worse. Good decision, Capcom. Great decision, Capcom. We have more Capcom news today. Gonna be also kind of focused at the beginning here of this show around Capcom. The impact of a recent switch from de novo DRM to Enigma DRM was recorded last week in one YouTube video published by user Italic Maze. Using a mod that allows you to restore the game's previous version, the video compares shows the frame rate dropping from over 140 in the earlier version to in the low 90s in the updated release. With both running on similar settings. Why not the exact settings? Why does it have only similar settings though? Isn't that a kind of weird? The drop-off was even worse when Leon was in more action-heavy moments with lots of enemies. Digital Foundry circled back on February 11th and posted in its own assessment, essentially backing up the primary data. Using specific settings to try to isolate the load on the CPU, the outlet found that the new DRM was likely causing increased strain. In this scenario, an average of 1.9 milliseconds of CPU time is sucked up out of the game, which is pretty shocking, wrote Richard Leadbetter. Immediately after the intro, we move into gameplay where the deficit shifts to a 20% drop in performance. He called the results not acceptable and points to a larger issue of publishers treating PC versions of games as mutable test beds. They can constantly iterate on sometimes without regard for how changes will impact the overall user experience. The group also notes that when DRM is used, its resource requirements should be budgeted into the game's performance targets from the start rather than being something added on top at the end that leads to a subpar experience. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's a money issue here. Why Capcom went from de novo, because de novo is usually quite expensive as a copy protection method for your games. Maybe Enigma is just way cheaper, and that's why they changed from de novo after now 3 years from the release date of Resident Evil 4. I'm not sure. I can't really say what the reasons are behind those changes and those decisions, but I think it's a bad decision. Not that like 90 frames per second is like terrible. Oh my goodness, 90 frames per second only. I can't live with that. Go play Dragon Guard 3 by this guy who mentions it prior to me playing it yesterday, for example. Oh, I hate. When you are in the single-digit frame rates sometimes. So the game can also be very bad optimized in general. But yes, I feel like after a certain period of time, those people should release their games on GOG in general, DRM free, and just see how well it works without any DRMs, meaning without any subsystem that checks all the time for you if you're allowed to play that game. So stupid. Speaking of that, GOG, I mean. This month is looking to be a treat for anyone interested in the Resident Evil series. In addition to releasing a new game later this month, which is Resident Evil 9 Requiem called, Capcom is also running a massive sale on Steam called Resident Evil Reload Collection Extra. This bundle has all 9 mainline games already released, plus 2 paid DLCs for only $40. It's a great price, amazing price, and I think it's absolutely worth it. If you have only a few in this lineup of Resident Evil games, you should get it. For $40, that's a really good price. Unfortunately, it's not like the nine mainline games. It's versions of the 9 mainline games, not all of them, unfortunately. And we got Resident Evil 0, we got Resident Evil 1, which is the remastered version. It's not like the original one, which you can get on GOG, though. Resident Evil 2, it's also the remake. Resident Evil 3, it's also the remake. Resident Evil 4, though, they didn't give you the remake here. They give you like the HD remaster from 2005 for PC. Resident Evil 5 and the very shitty Resident Evil 6. Nobody needs that garbage. You should delete that if you can somehow. Or you can like hide it, from your list there in Steam. 7, Biohazard, the Season Pass with 7. Resident Evil Village and the Winter's expansion pack to the 8th iteration there. It's a take on Resident Evil 4 Shop Guy. Shop Guy? I don't know. I don't know who the Shop Guy is. Oh, you mean like in the game, the Shop Guy? What are you buying? What are you selling? This guy, yeah. Oi, Mrs. Sarge. Hello, all Black Pickles. Kitchen bitch duty be listening. I love Resident Evil 6. Of course, you love Resident Evil 6 because you also love the best Metal Gear Solid is 3. So that tells a lot about you again, Haste. 6 is absolutely garbage. 6 is really terrible. It is like it has like those chapters, like you have a lot of characters to play, not only like in the previous games and the games after it, 1 to maximum 2 characters you play. You play like all kinds of different characters in chapters. You play with Ada Wong. You play with I think Leon. Just all kinds of different characters. I think it has like 6 different characters to play with. And it's not very well made. The fear factor is not there. The action is lame. The movement is like awkward. The whole game is, in my humble retard opinion, a big mess. And it shows like in the sales. It showed pretty much very early on in the sales numbers. Capcom did a big baddie there. Like says, I have bad taste in games. You have. Speaking of MGS3, I picked up Delta and it runs great on Linux. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay them $120. No, and I'm not even downloading. I could download the game on the high seas, but I'm zero interested in Capcom, in Konami games right now. Let's stick to Capcom though. Capcom has done another baddie, in my opinion. Not a very stupid baddie. Capcom slaps crappy DRM on Steam ports of Dino Crisis 1 and 2. The first 2 Dino Crisis games, originally released on the PlayStation 1 over 25 years ago, have finally made their way over to Steam. That's cool, but wait a minute here. Did Capcom include performance-killing DRM on these retro releases? Yes, it did. On February 12th, Capcom announced a fun little surprise for Dino Crisis fans. No, it wasn't a new game or a remake or even a fancy remaster. Instead, Capcom revealed that 1999's Dino Crisis and its 2000 sequel, Dino Crisis 3, were now available to buy on Valve's large digital PC gaming store, Steam. As mentioned already, that's cool. I mean, the games have been available on GOG for a bit and can be easily emulated on fairly weak PCs, which actually emulated versions, at least with DuckStation, you can tweak it very nicely to look very clean, but still have like the original character of the visuals. It smoothens out, but not like too much, if that makes sense. But it's always nice to see publisher bringing all the games to more platforms and stores. Except fans quickly spotted something silly. Dino Crisis 1 and 2 on Steam included Enigma-protected DRM. Yeah, I think that makes zero sense. I just recently got Dino Crisis on GOG because it was on sale, and it's still on sale for $8.50 $8.49 to be more precise, you can get the bundle on GOG still. Why would you go to Steam when you can get it DRM free, the same version with the same tweaks? They probably like asked GOG like, can we use now your tweaks for our game on Steam? Something like that. Because GOG usually has the allowance to tweak the games they publish on their platform, like removing DRMs and all that if the DRM is on it. And the deal goes usually like that. And why would you go to fucking Steam and buy it there? I didn't even check how much it would cost on Steam right now. Probably not more though. Most likely not more. Steampower.com. Come on. Oh, it's store.steampower.com. Dino Crisis. I wonder how much it's gonna cost us. The bundle? Oh, it's a little. Only that's a soundtrack. That's the soundtrack. Damn. I didn't pay attention. Dino Crisis. And you don't have a bundle? Are you telling me you don't have a bundle? You must have a bundle here. No, they don't have. We don't need to hear the intro there. $4.99. A lot of nines again. $10. So it's even like more expensive than on GOG. Why, Capcom? Why? I mean, the share might be bigger too, like than on GOG, meaning from Steam. Steam takes 30% in publishing the games and making them available, but still, no bundle and more expensive. Makes no sense. I mean, here you have the same prices, but no bundle. No bundle, man. That's retarded. That's very, very retarded. Yeah, they did it. Capcom is shitty. They are less shitty than a lot of other publishers these days, though. They are way less shittier because they put a lot of their games very early on GOG. They had like deals made with GOG very early on, and they keep on publishing there too. All those more older games. I wish they would do it with the remakes too of Resident Evil, for example, making them DRM free available. I don't need them anymore. I have it on Steam, but it would be nice having them like somewhat license-wise to being able to transfer it to GOG, which in the past was a big thing, actually. GOG did a lot of games like transferring licensing, of course, mainly for the CD Projekt Red games. I think that still works. Connecting the accounts, Steam account with GOG account. But they had other games that just worked flawlessly. Torchlight, I remember very vividly. Torchlight 1 and 2 were available to transfer it over. It was done in your library in that sense, you know, and you could download it, the DRM-free version from GOG. So I'm going to give Capcom that. Capcom was very early on this DRM-free on GOG train. But yeah, those are two very stupid decisions, making a game run worse, a newish game worse, and releasing very old games and putting DRM on it in Steam. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Witcher 1 and 2, and I think 3 was also the same method. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. You know about stupid people or shitty people, maybe? Do you know this name? Uwe Boll is making his own new House of the Dead movie and wants you to pay for it. Yeah, good luck with that. While the proposed film's title refers to the 20 years since Boll's original House of the Dead, it sounds more like a mockbuster from the Asylum, trying to ape off the recently released 28 years later. The 20 years later movie with the zombies. It doesn't help that Zombie Island, which that's what he is calling is wannabe new movie, want to make a new movie because he can't use the House of the Dead name, because that movie is actually being made right now by a bigger production there, and has the licensing and the naming rights. Is not only hilariously generic, but was also already used for the title of a direct-to-video Scooby-Doo movie. True, I guess. I have never watched that Scooby-Doo movie, but yes, Zombie Island, that's what he wants to call it. Uwe Boll, not a good name in the adaptation of video games sphere there, but he was able to do a lot of those adaptation actually. Beside House of the Dead, Boll also adapted Alone in the Dark, Blood Rain, Postal, and Far Cry S films, all of which were critical duds. Yeah. I'm not agreeing with Alone in the Dark. I never played the game Alone in the Dark, so maybe he fucked up a lot of the lore, maybe he fucked up the whole lore, but I kind of can watch that movie no problem. It has a good visual quality to it. It has a very decent acting overall. The story is just there, you know. Some kid falls into a hole. It opens up something, and after that, the whole world goes to shit, and he is alone in the dark from there on. So yeah. I mean, I'm okay with that movie. The rest, yeah, I tried to watch them. Blood Rain, sexy woman, I can agree on that, but the acting, the special effects, the stunts, whatever. A Postal, well, that might be a movie for Haste. Haste, for some odd reason, shows his shitty taste again, because he loves Postal. And Far Cry with Till Schweiger. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that either. So, yeah. And he has opened Indiegogo funding campaign here, and it doesn't go super well. $4,956 he already got from 21 supporters. That was 6 hours ago when I opened up this page for today on this browser. Let's refresh the page and see how far we are now. Probably not very. Oh, it just vanished. What? let me go on the link again. Let me go on the link again. Okay, still there. Just to reload, something messed up there for some reason. No, still 21 backers, and he wants in total only $15,000. At least nobody can complain like it's a very expensive production he does. For that amount of money, if he pulls it off for that amount of money, it's quite impressive, though. If you think about it, it's quite impressive. I would be able to back him up completely. I'm not going to waste my money on this, because that money I'm not going to see ever again. And this movie is not going to make any money. It's not going to make even those $15,000 back. But he also convinced because he made a House of the Dead about 20 plus years ago already. And it was also a bad adaptation of the video game. Which I'm surprised how you managed to do a bad zombie movie, really, because if it's going to be House of the Dead, it's already silly, environment. It's already very silly, storytelling there of the game. How can you mess that up? I don't know. But, yeah. 15,000. He convinced the original actors from the first one to come back so far, as far as he tells us. And he absolutely would beat the other production, which is way more expensive, which has the naming, licensing rights and all that stuff. He would absolutely beat that one. He can do it. He can pull it off. He just needs those $15,000. It sounds to me more like you are in desperate need of money, and you're going to get this money just in your pocket. I mean, I'm not blaming you, to be honest. 15,000 is not like a lot. So if that's what you get for the whole 6-month period to live, you're in a bad spot there, I think, dear Uwe Boll. But again, it's kind of impressive that he got like a lot of licenses in the past, doing House of the Dead, doing Alone in the Dark, doing Blood Rain, doing Postal, and doing Far Cry. So yeah, weird. Capcom got tired of mothers giving Jill Valentine big mommy milkers and slutty outfits in Resident Evil 3. What do you mean? You can still mod it if you have the data. And Street Fighter 6 costumes mods too. Street Fighter 6 is garbage though. So Capcom is scorched earth with adding Enigma to everything. Yeah, but I mean, they can do that with the stuff they don't have on GOG. If they do that with stuff it's already published and released and available on GOG, it makes no sense putting it on Steam. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. Sergeant Hugo Stiglitz. I don't know who that is. Let's talk about this. Maybe it's a good deal. I don't care about the politics, really. It is sounding stupid overall, of course, as a headline, but it is what it is. No Ice in Minnesota bundle lets you play games and protest fascism. Fuck Ice. Yeah, I mean, I can myself agree with that, because those are fats and fats are gay and gays can go fuck themselves in general. And what better way to raise a big pile of money for the Immigration Law Center of Minnesota than buying nearly 300 video games and over 1,000 tabletop games for as much money as you want to give, with a minimum of $10 in the No Ice in Minnesota bundle. Yeah, that will help them, like court case and all that. And it sounds like a scheme, scam. I mean, not scheme. Like a scam of some sort. Headline games in the pack include stunning puzzlers Baba Is You, A Good Snowman Is Hard to Build, alongside that cat cafe sim Calico, and the deeply engrossing experimental sci-fi game Periphery Synthetic, which none of those games really look appealing to me, but I mean, they are usually like $5 to $10 bucks each game without this bundle. But of course, the real pleasure of a bundle like this is picking games you've never heard of at random and encountering something completely fresh and original. And if you're after something new to play with tabletop buddies, then there are more than 1,000 of them to choose from a printout. The Immigration Law Center of Minnesota is a non-profit that provides free representation to low-income immigrants and refugees living in both Minnesota and North Dakota. And aren't they like far apart? I'm not sure. I don't know the place in my head right now. And couldn't be more necessary during the current invasion of ICE and CBP agents. The organization also provides support for those facing similar violence and information on who to contact when witnessing such attacks. Yeah, I just don't think the money goes that route to the right people. I just don't think so. And also, all those games in that bundle, all those publisher is HIO, but all the developers, do they see any sense? They just allowed it like to pretty much give away their games for a just cause, in their opinion, I guess. And I checked the bundle. I tried to check it, but I bought it. I'm gonna say I bought it because out of those 300 games, there must be like 10% good games. There just must be. And for $10, I hope I didn't waste any money. I don't care for the cause because, like I said, probably the money doesn't go where it actually is set to be going. ICE is pulling out of Minnesota. Libs got what they wanted. The games suck. Most of them, for sure. Most of them, I'm very, very sure, yes. And those games I just mentioned, those top-tier games on itch.io, not my taste. But there must be like at least 10% decent games, meaning somewhat between 20 and 30 games that I would be able to play. I just need to find them. I just need to find them now in this big-ass bundle. For $10, it's like a good price for me as a consumer of video games, right? Hasbro gets hold of Harry Potter merch rights, which means an MTG set feels inevitable. Global toy giant Hasbro has now gained the rights to produce action figures, board games, and more for Harry Potter, which is a big fucking IP. And that might give Hasbro a lot of opportunity to squeeze a lot of dollars out of the fans of Harry Potter, which there are so many Harry Potter fans on this planet. Good luck. I mean, maybe I need it. Revealed as a multi-year partnership starting in 2027, this deal makes Hasbro global primary toy licensee for Harry Potter movies, the Fantastic Beasts series, and HBO's upcoming show, because Hasbro also owns one of the best card games, Magic the Gathering, to say nothing of D&D. This opens the door to a possible crossover set. Yes, this does it. And Hasbro is doing right now, more or less like since a year, amazingly well. Only with the MTG, with Magic the Gathering, like card production, with the trading card here, franchises. They're making like billions and billions with all kinds. They get so many licenses they got the last 12 months, man. It's crazy, amazing, and incredible. They got Turtles, Teenage Mutant Turtles. They got Final Fantasy. They got, of course, Dungeons & Dragons since forever, pretty much, right? And I can't even remember all the names, and like big IPs, big IP, big names. And they're just producing. It's like the machines who produce cards. It's like money producing, you know? It's like printing money, pretty much, for them right now. Which is, I mean, good for them. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I don't care for it, but it's gonna make billions for them. How long this deal was set up? I don't remember they talked about it in this article. I assume about 5 years, because that's at least how long the show will run from 2027 on. At least, more like a decade the show will run. But yeah, they're going to print more and more money. Crazy. A lot of fans out there. Pokemon fans tried to go to Epstein Island because there was a reason to go there. Pokemon Go players kept swarming the Epstein Island Pokestop, forcing devs to remove it. Little St. James, informally known as Epstein Island, saw a sudden influx of virtual visitors over the weekend after Pokemon Go spotted that the location was home to a Pokestop. The Pokestop in question has since been removed from the game by developers Niantic, but not in time to stop an unquantifiable number of players from flocking to the island once owned by deceased convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Is he really deceased? That's a question. That's in question still. Yeah, what is a Pokestop though? People might need to know that. A Pokestop is just like a location on your map in Pokemon Go where more stuff is happening. Like you can gather there on this Pokestop and fight other players, and maybe another Pokemon appears that is more rare and such. But it's usually like the name actually implies, a stop for people just to gather and talk to each other and all that. That's what the Pokestop is. And it has to be set specifically by Niantic on different spots. You have it in some museums, by the way. You have it in libraries in some sort. You have it in like historical places, you know, just to make people gather at those spots. And that it was one of those spots on Epstein Island, that means probably Epstein himself actually asked Niantic, can you put a Pokestop here? Because I'm often here. We have often people around here on this island. We have parties going and such. He asked specifically to put a Pokestop on his island there. Because as far as we know, he actually was a Pokemon Go player. Isn't that weird? Isn't that fucking weird? And Niantic was just like, sure, we know you are a sex offender. We know you went to prison because of diddling kids and fucking two young women and trafficking. We all know that. But hey, you asked nicely. And we know what you can do to damage our reputation because of Mossad connection, which you have absolutely, Mr. Epstein. But no problem. Don't worry. We're going to put a Pokestop there on your little pedophile island. Oi, Pico Boy. Oi, Cocteau. Nintendo fans are the worst. Hey, don't say that. El Mascarado might be hurt reading that. Goyum. You're cattle too, Haste. You're the red heifer, actually. you Ginger are the red heifer for them. Expedition 33 art book confiscated by government officials who think it's an ancient relic. Well, you need to be like kind of retarded if you think that as a border patrol customs agent. The monolith set of Expedition 33 is a collector's item that includes a steelbook case for Sandfall Interactive's loaded RPG, a music box statuette, and a 48-page hardcover art book. Pre-orders went live midway through 2025 and only began shipping in January 2026, but not every copy reached its destination safely. So says Redditor Ahmed1525-2, who shared pictures of a letter they had received from the Iraqi government explaining why customs had taken the material for further inspection. The parcel contained an art book with drawing of a monetary value, the notice reads. The letter later specifies that the art book has been referred to Iraqi's Ministry of Culture and Antiquities for further study. Another document included in the notice shows that the art book was expedited to Iraqi's Directorate of Investigation and Excavation. Here's what it looks like for a reference. So yeah, you get this music box statuette, that art book itself, the steel book, in a neatly bigger box here. Looks like a good collector's edition there. So nothing like too outstanding and really, but the art book is just beautiful made, I guess. And it's like a printed thing, you know. It's like a modern printed. So everything is probably very flat on every page. It is not like an ancient book. If you open it and you just look at it, you know it's a modern produced product. But yeah, I guess Iraqi customs are not that smart. They opened it, they checked it, and decided, no, that must be an ancient book. Somebody's trying to sneak in this expedition journal into our country. It might be super valuable. I mean, it's more valuable than regular Expedition 33 stuff, but it's not ancient. This can't be for real, Ahmed 1525-2 wrote. They acting like it's a Mona Lisa painting or some like that. Ahmed1525-2 later said in a reply to a comment on their post, "I don't know what the hell went through their minds to assume it's an ancient book." They added in yet another comment in the embed below. You can scroll to view the letters purportedly sent to the fan by Iraqi government. So this is the art book again, a little bit closer up. I don't know how you can mistake this for an ancient book, but I'm not a fat, so I'm not gay enough for that, I guess. And he used a Google Translator on his phone to make a real-time translation here. You can go read it for yourself if you want, which is just insanely stupid. But yeah. What makes this especially funny, though, is that someone at customs had to open the collector's edition and rummage through it before interpreting it to be an ancient artifact. Meanwhile, the actual name of the game is visible on both the steelbook case and the painter's replica. Maybe someone at the Iraqi customs read the news that Sandfall Interactive got knighted by France and assumed the art book had historical significance. Now, I mean, I guess that's from now on, maybe, who knows? And you made it more significant now for everybody by confiscating a modern art book. That's kind of funny. I like when I see stories like that. Usually I have only bad stuff to report because they don't give me a lot of funny stories and happy stories. He's gonna get it probably sooner or later, but still, how can custom sometimes be so stupid? I'm glad that it didn't confiscate your little figure there from me, Haste, in the US. That must have value. Look how delicate this all looks, this Mononoke hime statue. Iraq has topped the list of the smartest Arab nations according to IQ scores, achieving an average of 87 points. Not super smart. Those IQ tests I can't take too serious because they are like more adjusted for Western values and knowledge in the like Western stuff. IQs tests usually are what you know about certain stuff. So I don't know if they adjusted it for the Arab Middle Eastern mindset. I don't know, because they might know other stuff we have forgotten, you know. But yes, doesn't sound high for sure. This is the best story of the day. It's a funny story for sure. I don't know if it's the best, but it's a funny story. Customs. I hate customs in general. I hate customs because, I mean, they have like a lot of work to do to protect the borders and make your nation safer and all that. But you just can't. You really can't. All that stuff that you're importing, like from all kinds of the places from this planet, you can't check everything. You just don't have the manpower. And when they just sometimes pick and choose certain packages and parcels and all that, and decide then upon the content that you are not allowed to have that because it has some kind of dangerous fluids, or just sometimes the decisions made by politicians and put into laws, and the customs have to go according to those laws. It's just stupid, you know, in general. They never lear. Wow, how dare the colonists appropriate our history? Shaking my head. What? They do that with Relooted, the most amazing game out of Africa. Relooted. Have you played that, Pigo Boy? Sounds like a game for you. We had this story about Discord on last news on Monday, and that was like the main story. I read the whole statement from the Discord lady, the director of policy, Savannah, whatever her name was, right? And she already said everything, but Discord was like forced to make another statement to clarify stuff. It's not clarifying jack shit. People are still confused. and people are not going to come back right away just because you do a FAQ kind of reply now to calm down the people's tits. It's probably not going to work. And I don't think you're going to change anything from the first statement you did, because you already mentioned that AI is going to be involved. And if they see like you already are adultish speaking for a few years, meaning the AI was already collecting all our lines. Just saying. I don't know if they collected all the lines only in the private chats or only in the servers or both. I have no idea. I can't verify anything really. But yes, let's see a little bit how they do some damage control right now. Discord goes into damage control mode over new age verification requirements, promising there's nothing to see here for a vast majority of users. Yeah, I'm gonna wait and see how much full of shit you are in March. I've never seen patch notes issued for a press release before, but Discord just did exactly that. The company has updated the language around its new age-gated rules to make clear that the vast majority, in quotation mark, of users have nothing to worry about because the company's AI will be able to accurately estimate their age and bypass the controversial new verification procedures rolling out over the next few months. No, I'm not black. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. But you might still love the colonists, the anti-colonists game. Kotaku Reloaded gives a big black middle finger to white first history. Yeah, I read the almost the whole article there, Haste. I decided not to include that stuff in today's news. Because I read a lot of fucking news when I do those shows. Believe it or not, I read a whole lot of news. Sometimes it's easier to decide which ones I just put away, put aside. The game is about stealing, laughing my ass off. No, it's relooting. Use the correct terms. It's relooting. None of this surprises me about Discord. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait. Unfortunately, to see how full of shit Discord CEO and directors are for March. It's been a rough 24 hours for Discord, the modern hub for gaming conversations online. The company revealed new age verification requirements on February 9. That would lock users out of certain features like age-restricted experiences unless they upload a face scan or a picture of their ID. The black, I mean, when you have the ID, they're also gonna want a picture of your face anyhow. Otherwise, the ID doesn't mean a whole lot. You could fake IDs at this point, right? It's not like impossible to do. I have a whole collection of fake IDs on my server, like where you just can insert names and it's already pre-made. So it's you're gonna, if they want the ID, they're also gonna want the picture face. A face picture, I mean, a picture face. The blowback was swift and loud, with calls to boycott Discord's paid Nitro subscriptions and return to old-school website forums. Well, lucky me, I got last year a very cheap gift at the Discord subscription, and I think I paid only like a third or a fifth of the whole price on one of those key sellers websites, game key sellers websites. And I'm kind of lucky in that sense because it costs now half of the price of the regular Nitro. And for me, it was just worth paying only maybe 20-25% of the original price through the Discord itself, because I get like high resolution streaming and all kinds of higher uploaded sized files and all that. So it was worth those $20 or $25, whatever I paid. It was for me worth at this point. If I'm going to do that again, probably not. Probably not. But yes, that's a good call. Just don't pay people who hate you. or people who go according to laws, actually, too much, a little bit too harsh with the laws there. Because that's all because of UK, Australian laws, and soon because of US federal laws. KOSA, Kids Online Safety Act, and the Screen Act. I don't know what Screen stands for, but it has a lot of those verifications laws put in place at one point. So don't think just because the UK is not freedom of speech, that's why it's never going to happen on the US platforms. It absolutely happens. Absolutely happens. What do you want? I can remember my password for Discord, so I don't log out. I mean, you can recover the password as long as you have access to your email, which is connected to Discord. Don't worry. Don't worry. Kotaku reload to give the middle finger. I read that. None of this surprised me about Discord. Why wouldn't a credit card be enough to verify age? I don't know how it is in the US, but I'm pretty confident you can get a credit card for your kids, right? Somewhat. Maybe not like up to the age of 12 or 14 or something like that, but I'm pretty sure you can get a credit card, like a second credit card for your family members that are younger. I assume. I don't know for absolute sure. But yeah, that might be another indicator for them, the AI collecting data. If you bought a subscription, a Nitro subscription through your credit card, they might just assume, no problem, you have a credit card, obviously you're old enough, nothing changes for you. We're going to verify you on the day of global age verifications. I just can assume there too. Oye, El Mascarado. Mexican in the chat. Half Mexican. Sorry. Imagine it's not gonna work. Ouch, my junk. Why you even try? You should know that. You always tune in on the news. I think he smokes too much, maybe. Certain stuff. Haste gifted 1 subscription. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Pico Boy got it. Was that the reason why you gifted? You wanted to see him in the same color? Haste, 1 line. Where was I? Maybe that's why Discord returned to a day later to a post novel that goes into more detail about its new age assurance rules. Discord is not requiring everyone to complete a face scan or upload an ID to use Discord. The company promised in a new addendum on February 10, the vast majority of people can continue using Discord exactly as they do today, without ever being asked to confirm their age. That's because Discord's AI interference model will be used to guess most users' age. How well this AI is gonna estimate and guess ages? Like I said, we have to wait. I don't trust them. I don't give them benefit of a doubt. If it guesses a number that's 18 or higher, you're in the clear. If it doesn't, you'll have to give the company your sensitive data in order to get around the new teen safety protocols. But Discord is quick to stress that this doesn't apply to most people, because most people don't ever access adult content on Discord. So why you make it sound like that? Thank you, El Mascarada. El Mascarada also gifted 1. Doesn't go to anybody because I haven't seen any other white people. White background of the text. Much appreciated. Pigo now has a red rash. He has. I thought I'd give it a shot. Oh well. When are we getting an Ike popcorn bucket? Why would you want that? If you want to support me and have something Ike related, me related, as usual, down in the video description is the link for all kinds of donations and all kinds of swag. That's the word for it, right? Get a cup, get a mug with my face on it. Not this face, the character on you see in the emojis. Haste got 2 of those. I don't remember if he bought one himself or if I sent. I think I sent him 2. I think I sent him 2. I was good to Haste. Let's put it that way. Where was I? So yeah, the wording here on this last phrase. But Discord is quick to stress that this doesn't apply to most people because most people don't ever access adult content. Means their AI is not just doing all this work already and did it. Maybe it's collecting data right now like crazy, but it obviously shows that they are lying to you, that as long as you didn't access anything adult, they are like putting you in the teen group, but you still can use Discord as you used it before. You can chat in the same servers that were not adult related or marked as adult content. You still can DM with people who are not adult market and have adult content in the private chats, right? So something is off here with Discord. Discord, as usually, those marketing people and directors and managers don't tell you all the truth. I'm big surprised. Big surprised. You must be a confirmed adult to access age-restricted content and experiences such as age-restricted servers and channels or to modify certain safety settings. The company explains in a new FAQ. The majority of Discord users don't access age-restricted content and will never go through a facial age estimation, flow, or ID verification. In the minority of cases where we cannot confirm you as an adult and you need to access age-restricted areas and settings, then you will be asked to go through additional steps. Yeah. It's gonna be a shit show. I'm very convinced. Oi, Yufune easy, lurking while working. I'm convinced it's gonna be a shit show in March with Discord. And why you all waiting for the shit show to happen? I don't know. I don't know. If you're a user of Discord right now, and if you don't care for your privacy and data and all that, if you just comply with those cocksuckers, you deserve whatever breach is gonna happen in the future. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. And if you just wait for that all to happen, I don't know if I can take you too serious. I'm not telling you you need to go to my Element server, but look out. Be prepared in some way or shape or form. That's why the Element link is now there since about 2 years. I have set up, maybe 1.5 years, my Element stuff. Just a channel, just to be like on the safe side. If anything happens, we have still the means to talk to each other if anything goes wrong with Discord. Because many people went from Gilded. I miss Gilded a lot. I'm gonna admit it once more. I miss Gilded a lot because Gilded was a great fucking tool for communities. You can you had like tons of tools in like built-in tools for gatherings, for events, has a calendar. It has like a blog style page and all that. I miss Gilded for that. But Gilded started off like, first we're gonna make it mandatory to connect your Roblox account. So meaning you need to make a Roblox account to be able to use Gilded. And I remember that part. the soldiers don't remember that most likely, but I remember telling them like, don't you worry. Sooner or later, because people who just comply with that nonsense, Gilded, Roblox Incorporated, the company who owns Gilded, is going to demand not only the Roblox account, but they're going to demand a fucking ID. Just sooner or later. A year later, a little bit more than a year later, what happened? Well, they're all demanding age verification with IDs and faces of the pictures and all, pictures of the faces and all, right? So I was spot on, and I'm gonna probably predict here it's gonna be the same. The vast majority of users are not just gonna be like 18 and above marked in Discord. The AI is gonna mess it up. The data breach is gonna happen. And that tells us that because data breaches are going to happen, they collect the data. Despite they told us on Monday, on the 9th of this month, they told us, no, the new vendor is not going to collect any data. Trust me, bro. We're going to verify your age and we're going to delete it immediately. I mean, not immediately if we need further steps for some reason, right, to verify your age. And we're not going to tell you for what more verification we need those data. So then we're going to collect your data. Don't worry. It's going to be super safe. So once more, down in the video description, Element, which uses the Matrix protocol and the servers right now. You can even set up a known server because it's open source. You can load it on a VPS and run it completely independent. Meaning nobody can just access your stuff without your allowance. Mrs. Sarge was able to join the Element. She didn't tell me she had any trouble. She was able to do it, and she's not like this super tech-savvy genius. So that tells you a lot how easy you can actually get into Element. Yeah, and El Mascarado has also managed to do it, so down in the video description. Down in the video description. It looks different. It looks, of course, different than Discord, but it has the main attribute that you like from Discord: group chats, servers, or just chats itself. Video streaming, meaning a group video call, or you can just go with audio calls and all that in groups, completely for free. No ads shown. It is a little bit more like complicated, I would say, convoluted, because it can connect to other servers, you know. You can allow servers like to connect only to this server and all that. You can make a federation. That's what it's called in the Matrix protocol. But be prepared. Don't just wait and then complain later. If you complain later that you got like yeeted out of Discord, fuck off. I don't want to hear anything of that nature. I don't know what a Discord was until I met Ike or Gilded. They're just tools to stay in contact and to talk each other. You know? That's a weird story here. But Microsoft got a DMCA claim on Steam because of this picture. Microsoft withdraws DMCA claim against indie developer UnoMelon. Microsoft has withdrawn its copyright claim against indie developer UnoMelon. Yesterday, February 10, UnoMelon shared on social media that Microsoft filed a false DMCA claim against its vocal sandbox game Alumira on Steam. A portion of the claim was posted to the developer's Discord server via PC Gamer, in which Microsoft alleged that UnoMelon had used Minecraft content, including but not limited to gameplay and assets, without authorization. Another post on the server suggested that the claim may have been automated. GameIndustry.biz has contacted Microsoft for further clarification. Unimelon has since shared email correspondence on its servers, confirming the removal of the copyright claim. This is the best case scenario, it wrote. I am still not sure about the details, but whatever happened, it worked. The Steam page and game has been fully restored, and I did not need to file a counterclaim, meaning there will be no chance of a lawsuit. I don't know about the very last part. There will be no chance for a lawsuit just because they withdrawn the DMCA claim on Steam. I think Microsoft still can put your ass in front of a judge. Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest, man. This looks. If I don't know better, and I don't know really better, but that is Minecraft. That is like good old, not modded Minecraft. At least for what I see. But good on you if you got your game back on the store. Fine. But don't say like there's no chance for a lawsuit. That's like a different thing. This is like store stuff on Steam. Whatever decision, maybe they can't remove it right away from Steam anymore because maybe Steam Valve has some mechanics that doesn't allow you to claim it again with a DMCA claim. Maybe that's a thing. I know from YouTube, usually I'm getting like the copyright claims all the fucking time because of one track I use on my gaming streams with music at the beginning. Despite I have actually all the legal files on me, and they still keep on claiming that, and they don't do a counter claim when I do a counter claim, which is weird after 30 days. It's a shit show on YouTube. I don't know how it's gonna be on Steam though. But these guys seem to be very, very sure. Yeah, I'm super safe. I'm super safe. I can change now the game whatever I want. Maybe make it a Minecraft clone, and they're not gonna be able to do another claim. Sure. All I see is the description in the news links. It's the news links. Well, you're not scrolling enough. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. I mean, do I need to prove it? Do I need to prove it to you? Come on, Rumble. Every 6 hours, once. TAGN. Am I going to be found? I'm going to be found, at least that. If you go on the newest stream, don't autoplay, good one. I adjusted my... It's going to be just in English here for you. Show more, most likely. Ouch, my junk. And then you're going to have more details. Show more. That hasn't changed now for probably a year or so. I might have removed certain stuff, but what's here hasn't changed for about a year. Everything is there. The ones with eyes can see. Gaming to be key priority for a new Disney CEO, expert says. The Walt Disney Company's incoming CEO, Josh D'Amaro, is reportedly planning to focus on gaming and interactivity as one of his top priorities when he takes over for Bob Iger in March. I already told that, but I think that's bad wording, or they show you what really is going on. You don't take over for the former CEO. Do I understand that completely wrong? I'm pretty sure no. You take over from Bob Iger in March. Because the word for means for me, Bob Iger is still in charge. He might be behind the fucking curtains as the real boss. I doubt it though, because he's not like the real boss. He did a lot of damage to Disney in the past. Then another Bob came as a in between CEO. What was his other name? Robert. I don't know which family name he had. And then came Bob Iger back to fix all the issues that he created in the first place, right? And now he's still in charge because Josh D'Amaro takes over for Bob Iger. Sounds just wrong in my ears. That's all. That's all. Multiple sources told the Hollywood Reporter that gaming will be one of his key strategic priorities, running the show at Disney. Building on what the entertainment giant is already doing with its $1.5 billion deal with Fortnite maker Epic. D'Amaro himself has already signaled some of what's to come in terms of new gaming endeavors at Disney. He recently said Disney could premiere movies in Fortnite or allow people to book a Disney cruise from within the game. Two very stupid statements in one phrase. The phrase is not very long. How many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 words. Two very stupid statements in a 21-worded phrase. I mean, you can do that, I'm pretty sure, premiering your movies, which probably are just shitty since now 10 plus years, right? Since the new Star Wars stuff came up pretty much. Premiere in Fortnite, good luck with that, I guess. Sounds like a very stupid idea. And giving people the opportunity, because it's Fortnite, to book a Disney cruise from within the game, really? That's gonna make you like a bunch of money, really? You think that? Maybe D'Amaro is not that smart. Maybe he's really, really retarded. I just can't. I try to imagine that like thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people book cruises because they are playing Fortnite, a free-to-play game, by the way, right? The game is only successful because people are retarded and buy all the time skins. So people are playing that game, and you making an ad maybe in the lobbies or whatnot to book a cruise. Or people like, yeah, I'm a retard. I'm playing this game all day long for 5 to 12 hours a day usually, and I see now this ad for this cruise to diddle and Mickey Mouse in the park or on a cruise ship, whatever, right? Yeah, I'm gonna waste now $5,000 for 1 week of more entertainment because they have now a deal going on for that. I mean, yes, it doesn't cost Disney more, or maybe just a very, very tiny amount to put an ad in there because the deal is already done for 1.5 billion. They have a collaboration going on. You're going to see a lot of Disney IPs very soon in Fortnite. But yes, why you mention stupid shit like that? Like, that's your goal. Fortnite players who usually waste all their money and then they have none anymore on skins. You think those players are gonna book cruises through Fortnite? People are retarded, man. Bob Chapek, not Chapek, Chapek, yes. Thank you, Haste. When Chapek was outed, I gave up on Disney ever returning to form. Why would you give up a cut to Fortnite? I mean, they're giving now licenses to Fortnite. In that deal, it included that a lot of money is going to come back because people are still going to buy the skins. At least that is happening in Fortnite all the time. So many people probably gonna buy Mickey Mouse skins, Minnie Mouse skins, Pluto skins, the rescue team skins, and all whatnot, right? So they have now a lot of skins available in the future from the Disney world, right? So a lot of money is gonna come back, but not with the cruises, that's for sure. It's a big deal, 1.5 billion, and let's see if it pays off. Although that's a different question. How many skins are gonna be sold? It is very retarded. Tin Rabbit, ahoy! The 10 years olds don't book holiday cruises. You never know. You never know. Some dope skins. The South Park skins were creative. I mean, they announce every week some new skins. I really don't care for Fortnite. I tried to play it once live on stream, and the game is so lame. I just can't get into those games, like Battle Royale and those extraction games. I still call them gay. I still call them gay. And if you play them, you might be a little bit fruity. A little bit fruity. Where was I? This follows on from a report that said Disney was already planning to make further gaming deals, but those plans were disrupted by the search for a new CEO. Yeah, because that's way more important than to keep your business just going on and running it normally and making some money without the decisions of the big brain CEOs all the fucking time. And when something goes wrong, I never see a CEO paying back to the company or to the customer in some way, shape, or form. I always see just they take a bunch of money for their work, for their position, for their reputation, maybe in some capacity, right? But for their what's the word I'm searching for their responsibility, for the responsibility to fucking up stuff, they never take responsibility. They take the money, which is tied very much to the responsibility, but they're never gonna be like charged by the law, by the Justice Department, whatnot. Very rarely stuff like that happens. Mainly when you are the CEO and the real owner of the company, you might get in troubles. But other than that, they never fucking take responsibility for the amount of money they get for the responsibility, which is weird, isn't it? So yeah. Your priority was to get the CEO, then to keep your business afloat. Disney is not doing super well. Yeah, the theme parks are being visited again in big quantities by people, sure, but it's not really doing so well in the entertainment business, at least. The theme parks, it makes still somewhat money. I don't know how people are still being in the mindset of, oh yeah, Disney fucked us over in the past in the scamdemic, but let's give them another $10,000 for 1 week with my family. That's how much they care for us. They take our money. Fucktards. Damara has been a long-time advocate for gaming inside Disney, having personally spearheaded the Fortnite deal. He was responsible for that, okay. He currently runs Disney Experiences, a sprawling business unit that, among many other things, handles Disney's gaming efforts. Beyond the investment into Epic, Disney's gaming output has included numerous licensing deals for Star Wars and Marvel games. Yeah, how well is that going? How well is that doing overall for you? I don't know any other games beside Marvel Rivals doing good. And on the mobile section, the Marvel Future Fight mobile game. I don't know any other Marvel IP that really brings them money into their house. So yeah, How well does that go with the licensing Star Wars deals? The last big Star Wars deals in gaming, in the gaming sphere, was Star Wars Outlaws, which was now released on the Switch. Not a big success. Not a big success. It is tied to the demise of success from Ubisoft. Just move on this path. Just move on this path. Keep on moving there. This is a change from the past, when Disney developed games internally via its Disney Interactive Studios. That team closed in 2016, and Disney Infinity was shuttered as well, with Disney instead opting for more licensing deals. Many people have very vivid memories with a lot of old school retro games which were made by Disney Interactive Studios, you know. Very successful, actually. Why you needed to shutter it? Because you thought, like, we are too stupid to make games ourselves from now on. Let's just license. Let's give Ubisoft a license and see how well that goes. I like Battle Royale, but the building sucked. Of course you liked like Fortnite Battle Royale. Of course you love that. You postal bitch. Haste. Yeah. I don't see how Disney is gonna be more successful with this new CEO, just because he's more into gaming, supposedly, according to all the reports we see, all the lines spoken by him and his team and whatnot. It's hard to say. I'm like out of the Disney stuff in general, because they just produced a lot of garbage, and they gave the license to a lot of garbage producing other third-party members. I don't see a bright future in gaming for Disney. How about you guys? Do you feel like Disney is gonna be super successful? Howdy, Mrs. Arch says, Yafune Kinesi, black to lurking while working. Black to lurking. Why you say black to lurking? Are you implying here that black people are lazy and don't really work? Are you something saying like that? Back to lurking. Do it. Let's go to other companies that I despise. Blizzard boss teases exciting conversations about Hollywood adaptations. That goes along with my saying it's gonna be the next decade of gaming adaptations in movie and show. 10 years ago, one of Blizzard's most popular franchises hit the big screen in Warcraft, but there haven't been any further adaptation of the company's IP. In the decade since Warcraft hit theaters, video game adaptations have heated up again. According to Blizzard President Johanna Faris, studios are still knocking on the company's door, but it may take more than they can offer to get them off the ground. During a recently profile by Windows Central, Faris, I don't know, indicated that exciting conversations have taken place about new adaptations. She also noted that Blizzard is focused on the quality of any TV shows or movies based on its games. Yeah, you're big in quality, aren't you, in these days, Blizzard? Just maybe visually, yes, I probably can agree on that. You probably take a lot of pride in the visuals, meaning high quality, very fine details and all that. But other than that, storytelling, you suck these days. You absolutely suck. The biggest dicks in gaming history, man. You destroyed Warcraft lore. The newest expansion, Midnight, looks like fucking dog shit to me, man. It's like the new bad villain. This expansion being a void elf. it all just doesn't make any more sense, really. I can't get into like being excited about this new baddie at all. It shows me like very sloppy storytelling, like, are you gonna join me because I was once like you? I trusted the goodness, blah, blah, blah. But the void showed me something more truthful. Like, people are, I don't know why people still keep playing World of Warcraft. Just lore-wise, they destroyed everything. Gameplay-wise, it might be still okay. Oi, Neuro. Significant. Doesn't Disney know what they're doing? They will fizzle. They will fizzle significant. They will fizzle significant. I agree. It will. Every IP Disney buys ends up turning to shit. I mean, they didn't bought like a lot of IPs. They bought just two major IPs, or got them back. Marvel, they got pretty much everything back-ish, Marvel-wise. Star Wars, yeah, not making money for them, that's for sure. Sorry I'm late, I was doing a video. You were smoking a BBC. You were sucking on a BBC. Oh, it's hard. Do any of you have retarded activities in your neighborhood? Like what? During a recent profile by Windows Indicator, I read this part, didn't I? Yeah. We just want to be responsible with the IP, right? Why are you questioning as a CEO, as the boss of the whole company, the interviewer? Either you are sure you own your IP or not. That's like bad phrasing. Said Ferris. We want to make sure that if we bring anything forward, whether it's gameplay or whether it's beyond that, that it represents what we want it to signify. On behalf of Blizzard, it's got to be the best in class. We have set the bar in many ways in terms of creative excellence, and so that's really what we were going to focus on. Look, Blizzard always made like high quality cinematics in their games. Since probably forever. I never played this rock and roll racing game, which was, I think, the first Viking something. I started with Blizzard with Diablo 1. And it was very visible that they care a lot for quality in their cinematics and all that. And that was the back in the days, that was also where Blizzard took care of the lore. Like, they were very proud of their lore stuff, rightfully so, I would say, because that's what made them so big. Like, good storytelling, good gameplay, good visuals with the cinematics. And they should have done the Warcraft movie, which was, what was it, 2012-ish? Some 2008-ish? I don't remember anymore. They should have done that by themselves. Not instead of giving like the license to Legendary Pictures. They know also what they're doing with movies, but because they don't know the lore or didn't know enough about the Warcraft world, they kind of just picked out one story and encapsulated it, the whole thing, and tried to convey it to people's minds like this is the most important thing. And it's a very important part. How the orcs came to Azeroth, to the human and elf world, pretty much, right? And the Tauren world, the troll world. But yes, it didn't took off. It just didn't took off because the story by itself didn't make a whole lot of sense. It was just like too much isolated, and it looked like too weird to many people who knew about the lore, especially. If you maybe didn't know anything about Warcraft, it might have been okay, but it was nothing like you're gonna phone home and tell your mother, Mom, I saw this movie called Warcraft. It was fucking amazing. Orcs and shit, magic and knights and was nothing like that. Unfortunately, it kind of flopped big time. That's why they never made another one, at least not with legendary pictures. And now they try to go into this business, but they want to keep up their quality. I mean, none of the people in today's Blizzard are the same like 15, 20 years ago, you know, where the Blizzard peak was really. A lot of woke people in that company these days. And I'm going to refer back to the very simple thing they changed and shows you how fucked up they are in their heads. You had a spit command in Warcraft, World of Warcraft. You could have selected a player or an NPC. Do /spit, and it showed in the chat, spit on this and that character. 3-4 years ago, they changed that, and even when you select an NPC and do spit, the spit command, it doesn't do it. They're protecting NPCs. That's how fucking retarded Blizzard has become. Like, makes zero sense. Zero. But they are protecting NPCs because that's too mean. Spitting on even not real humans, not real trolls or real whatever. It's just mean, man. We can't allow that. And recently, I talked about that too last Monday. Was on Monday, or maybe last week. Blizzard is also like thinking about, yeah, maybe we should have not named it Warcraft. It sounds too intimidating. Yeah, sure. That's how fucking stupid they have become, man. This company has just has lost it on me. I was smoking a BBC while doing the video. Of course you were. Multitasking with my mouth. Yeah. Aren't you the guy who says all the time to me, phrasing, Ike, phrasing? Sarge, you do it deliberately. You want to be gay. With my mouth. What a weirdo. Blizzard has probably lowered the bar the most, more than any other game company. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I just checked out about Blizzard, like, because I got some price hikes news and all that. For example, Microsoft is thinking to combine certain subscriptions. Nothing really solidified yet, price-wise, what they are going to combine. They might do combinations of like the PC and the Xbox Game Passes, because the Xbox is going to not be the Xbox in 2 years from now on. Not the hardware stuff, so you know. And I checked about the Blizzard's World of Warcraft subscription, the price. If I don't remember, I just didn't remember. Did they have ever price hikes for the subscriptions of World of Warcraft? And in the 20 plus years since the release of the very first base game, World of Warcraft, it's monthly still $14.99, which is kind of impressive, because the dollar has been devalued since then. At least the double amount should be like the same value, meaning $30 a month. But they never put the price hike on the subscription, which is impressive. That tells you like they don't want to piss off at least like the very basic player cores there, you know. So you have to just admire certain stuff like that. For 20 years, the same subscription, kind of impressive, you know. $14.99 was expensive when it first released. Yeah, yes and no. You could have done also like a yearly subscription, like you can do now, and save there too. So, and back then, many people like me, I played in total about 15 years of World of Warcraft. And in the first 3 years, I would say I didn't care for any other games. I played like on a daily basis, did meetups with my people in the game, did raids, did gathering and all that for probably on a daily basis at least 4 hours on average, you know. So you get like your money in that sense back, you know. It always depends on how much investment you get time-wise and enjoyment, of course. You need to enjoy certain stuff. Today, I wouldn't pay them $15, which again is lower value today for the amount of the dollars, right? But the company has become just shit. A lot has changed visually. It would still appeal to me. I don't care because it had actually gotten better and all that. You have even ray tracing to a certain degree, and it runs pretty well. The last time I had it run on a very low spec machine was with an AMD processor APU combination. I think it was the 3400G. It ran super smooth with like settings super high and all that. So you have to consider that too, right? But it's lore-wise, the team-wise, Blizzard as a company, fuck them. EVE Online is 20 months to months. I did lots of hot drops. The documentary that South Park did 20 years ago about World of Warcraft was enlightening. I now understand gamers better. That was a great episode. And it showed you kind of the mentality, actually, how people play the game. Like they try to achieve something personally in those massive multiplayer online games. And yeah, they did a fantastic job on that. And I guess, yeah, if you are like from outside viewing everything and South Park showing you that, they did it kind of very accurately, like just the mindset of gamers. When the jump drives and Black Ops ships became available in EVE, immense fun spiking local with a hot drop. Don't know what the fucking hot drop is, but if it made you happy, I am happy for you. Haste. If Sarge is gonna offer you a hot drop, I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that. He's gonna make it sound appealing to you, like it's free. My hot drop is free for you, Haste. No. It's something different, we all think. Cigars for President's Day. Every day is Cigars Day for dear Sarge. Let's talk a little bit about Highguard. We have to talk a little bit about Highguard. Short reminders here. Highguard was shown in the Games Awards show last year as the final act, supposedly for free. I don't know. Jeff Keighley just wanted them very desperately for some odd reasons because he believed so much in them, and it didn't go super well. People were like, meh, doesn't look like something super amazing. It looks fine, you know, but it wasn't like expected to see something like that. Very generic. That's my word I use all the time for this one. It looks very generic, battle royale-ish, PvP. So after launch, people played it, almost 100k on the first day, 100,000 concurrent players. But it dropped off. 24 hours later, they couldn't even reach anymore 15k on a daily basis. A month later, it died off completely. The movement died off. The hype was not there anymore. Not even a tiny bit, really. They tried to save their own game by patching it, by giving it an update. Instead of having only one mode in the whole game, 3 versus 3, they added a 5 versus 5. Very welcome for many players, but the player base didn't get bigger. That's the most important thing you have to keep in mind. the player base didn't got bigger. It got split. Like half of the people still remained in the 3 versus 3 mode, and the other half was like happy going to the 5 versus 5 because big maps and all that. It makes more sense with more players for many people, at least it looked like. After that update, the CEO of Wildlight, Wildlight Entertainment was super happy, kind of, and told everybody on this planet, yeah, we don't need millions of players. That is not necessary for a successful game. As long as we have very loyal and happy players in the thousands only, that's okay. That is the driving factor for success only. And I told very specific, no, that's not how success is really measured. Success is measured this way when you have like the money back and the players are happy. Doesn't matter how many players really it is, that part is true, but you need somehow to get the money back. And because it's a free-to-play game, what is their only solution to survive, to make money? Selling stuff in their shops. Microtransaction of whatever kinds, right? Skins, maybe coins to buy new weapons, whatever, right? Doesn't really matter what it is, but that's the only way to make money back. And that's what the CEO told us. Yeah, we don't care. We don't give a shit, right? As long as players are happy. That's how the success is measured only. Well, surprise, surprise. Big fucking layoffs. Why did they need to lay off? Huh? I wonder. After I check the chat, I'm going to read the rest of the article. I'd rather get high as fuck. You can get high with cigars, can't you? Highguard, not in a high regard. Big Z. I shaved again. Well, you weren't here yesterday, you bitch. You 5-minute bitch. You fucking Aussie. I was like this yesterday already. I got rid of his porn stash. Maybe people are more sad, I'm not sure. He's dating a woman with big 70s bush. It was like Velcro on the stash. Sure. No, I just felt like... Actually, I was like seeing that shaving foam on the top shelf in my bathroom. And I was like, is that still good? Because I haven't used it maybe for 1.5 years or even more. Is that like still good? Like, is it okay if I put that stuff still on my face and if I shave? Or will I get skin cancer around my fucking mouth? So I just tried it out pretty much. And it was kind of still okay, I guess. I'm still alive, at least. It didn't get into my pores and sucked up by my skin. 5-pump jump. What? What is that? I wouldn't know about 70s bush. I wasn't even born yet. Highguard in trouble after most of the studio laid off just weeks after launch. Yeah. Wildlight Entertainment, the studio behind the new, not hero shooter Highguard, has reportedly laid off most of its team just weeks after the game launch on January 26. It was only January 26? Holy shit. Okay. I thought it was more like a month. Well, level designer Alex Grainer posted about the news on his LinkedIn account, saying he's looking for whatever's next after he and an unknown number of his fellow employees have been let go. Kotaku has reached out to Wildlight for comment and will update the story if we hear back. Unfortunately, along with most of the team at Wildlight, I was laid off today. This one really stings as there was a lot of unreleased content I was really looking forward to that I and others designed for Highguard. However, I'm excited for my next adventure. If your team or anyone you know needs an experienced level designer, hit me up. Let's say 3 weeks. Yeah, it's about 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks the game was released. They had big claims going on, the CEO, and now it's doing so good they needed to lay off already. 3 weeks. Sounds like a more fucked up story than with Mind's Eye from Build the Rocket Boy. They had at least like months and months to clarify stuff and still not getting up back. And layoffs came maybe like 2 months later, 3 months, something like that. 3 weeks. And in the meantime, they had an update which made the game run better, more modes, more player abilities and all that. A new character was just announced too. It's dead. It's just dead. That's crazy. Archmajoric, I have mentioned that you have a great name. Nah, he has a very painful name. That's like me begging for subs. Lol. You want Archmajoric to follow you? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Highguard was announced in December during the 2025 Games Awards, and it didn't go over very well with some sides of the internet. Then the team at Wildlight went radio silent for weeks until the game finally launched at the end of January, and press and content creators got hands-on time with the game. The response to the final game was a bit lukewarm, though Wildlight was quick to respond to feedback about the game's small 3 versus 3 team compositions by adding a 5 versus 5 mode within the first week. Yeah, it didn't save them. And on the update side here, more and more developers are speaking publicly about the layoffs, reiterating that most of the studio seems to have been impacted. Wildlight provided the following statement: "Today we made an incredibly difficult decision to part ways with a number of our team members while keeping a core group of developers to continue innovating on and supporting the game. We are proud of the team, talent, and the product we have created together. We are also grateful for players who gave the game a shot and those who continue to be a part of our community." Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give them that. It sounds very neutral. You're not pissing off like the gamers, your potential players, future players, right? But because you pissed me off already, that tells me about your mentality in general. Meaning that claim of, yeah, we don't need millions of players. That's not how success is measured. Blah, blah. Where are you now? They might still pull it off with a smaller team if the game just being fun for gamers, right? Gameplay-wise, maybe it pulls it off. But for me, it looks like generic, and combined with what was already going on, I don't see a bright future for this game and this studio. That's just my observation here. I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't make me go to this game. Especially not because they thought like it's a good idea to secure the game with a secure core, meaning going very deep into your system, claiming like hardware to observe whatever the player might use cheat-wise. You are not a EA and Battlefield. You know, you should not have done that. On the other hand, nobody complained about cheaters in this game, right? Okay, for the last part, a bigger part here of today's show, we're gonna check out a little bit what was happening on the State of Play yesterday, presented by Sony. We're not gonna go a deep dive. We're gonna check out certain games a little bit deeper. We're gonna go through all the stuff that they shown, but I'm not gonna read like the whole little piece of every information here. And I'm gonna give you my 2 cents here and there on certain games. Kena Scars of Cosmora, which is a sequel game to the Kena, the I don't know, Lights, or Bridge of Lights, or Bridge of Lights, Bridge of Spirits, the original. I like a lot. It has its quirks. It has its difficulties with the camera movement sometimes. Other than that, it plays very well. I enjoy the art style a lot in this game. It is very family friendly in that regard, to a certain degree. I'm going to tell you more about that later on. It's not bloody, it's not violent in that sense, but it's a Souls-like game after all. So you need to parry, you need to dodge, you need to use your fighting very wisely, otherwise you're just going to be killed. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I enjoyed the first one a lot. I don't know why they needed to include that in the state of play. But yes, Ghost of Nobai Legends, which is a mode, co-op mode, just an online mode. They gonna add that to the game for you. Death Stranding is gonna come to the PC. Death Stranding 2, that is, on the beach. I am kind of looking forward to this. I hope at least gameplay-wise it's gonna be immersive enough for me. I'm not sure about the story. It's a Kojima going full mode retard. 4Loop, I have no idea what that's gonna be about. It's a co-op gameplay which has like every time changing maps, something like that. But it looks like to me, yeah, you want to ride the Ark Raiders train yourself there. Pragmata, looking very forward to this one. That looks like a nice sci-fi adventure game so far. Capcom is ruling a lot. Of course, they showed you more about Resident Evil Requiem because this one is going to be released later this month. Many people waiting for this one, and so far no red lights turned on for Requiem. Just an additional gameplay footage here. Legacy of Kain Defiance remastered version. I'm looking forward to this one. You can pre-order it on GOG, actually, meaning DRM free. I don't know about the price. New games, I mean, it's not like a high price. It's about $30 rounded up. But I'm looking forward to this one of some sort. Good show, Ike. I have to say goodbye for now. Bye, Cocteau. When the next freaking Nintendo Direct? I'm not a Nintendo fag, so I don't care. You need to ask that El Mascarado. He might know. He might have insider info. Back to the Legacy of Kain. Defiance, I never was able to play this game for longer. The reasons were all my systems just crashed the game over the last 2 decades. That pissed me off every time, and I never picked it up again. So there's that, unfortunately. We're gonna get a new Dead or Alive, new Jiggly Titties, if you're up for that. A new beat 'em up. Might be good. I'm not so much into beat 'em up anymore these days. Control Resonant, which is, as far as I understand it, the new Control game in the Control world. Control the game, you know the game, right? Which was released in the PS4 era, which was working very poorly on the PS4, at least on the regular PS4. PS4 Pro managed to run it a little bit better, but they never fixed it really, so far, as far as I know. This one is going to be a sequel. We got like a midquel with Firecracker, which was not very well received. Remedy is just trying to survive here. Might be good. I don't know. Crimson Moon, not sure what that is really. I kind of like the style, but I didn't take a look further into this. Beast of Reincarnation, supposedly being like a Souls-like game with a companion on your side, which is this wolf. How this will work out in gameplay all the time, probably good. Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition, fine. I don't care for anniversary editions because I bought Rayman collection on GOG for very cheap. Rayman 1 through 4, something like that, and the Rabbids game, which is in the same realm. Mina the Hollower, yeah. It's an exclusive PC5 game. Whatever that is, looks like a Zelda clone, very, very obviously. Might be fun, might be fun. Neva Prologue. I played this game, actually, the base game on my my channel here. You should be able to find it. Prologue, I don't know if we needed that. How she got in touch with her wolf there, but yes. Yako Shinobi Ops is an isometric ninja game. That's what I know about it. Project Windless, it's Souls-like, just by Crafton. No idea if I want that. Star Wars Galactic Racer. Are you up for some Galactic Racer action? In the Star Wars galaxy? Yeah, not me. We got more footage from 007 First Light, which shows that they changed a lot, it seems. Gameplay-wise, it's way more action-driven, not only like this Hitman feeling anymore, it seems. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2. We got Volumes 1, which has Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3. But after the 3 days, they stopped there. Now with the Volume 2, you finally can play on your PC Metal Gear Solid 4. The best Metal Gear Solid. Don't listen to Haste. Whatever he tells you in the chat, any seconds. He is too gay to know better. That's just his problem. He doesn't know what's good. So we finally can play Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PC because it was for almost 20 years now only PS3 exclusive, which I just installed it on my PS3 5 days ago. 5 days ago I installed Metal Gear Solid 4 on the PlayStation 3 because I wanted to play it soon enough here. I guess I'm gonna download the PC version. I'm not gonna give them any cent because Konami can go lick my taint, right? And Peace Walker is absolute garbage. I never liked this one. It's considered as a main game. I don't think so. It just looks awkward. It plays awkward. It sounds awkward. I just don't like it. I don't like it. What's the next thing? You don't have to like the fighting games to like Jiggles Ike. I didn't say that. But I'm not gonna give them money just for the Jigglies. Now, why is Haste not showing up in the chat here? Let me refresh the chat. I have the chat in studio open. I just saw a different color. The bestest. Metal Gear Solid 4 is the bestest. I agree. Darwin's Paradox. You're gonna be an octopus, I think. In a Metal Gear Solid environment. Whatever. I really don't care for that. That might be a good thing for many fans. Another Konami stuff here. Another Konami IP. Castlevania Belmont's Curse, a side-scroller fighting game. It's way more action-driven. I'm not a fan of this style. Whatever we see in this. Silent Hill Townfall, a first-person Silent Hill. Nobody asked for, but because the last Silent Hill was a massive success, according at least to certain game journalists. I guess everybody waited for Townfall. Not me. Rev Noir, another Konami, a lot of Konami stuff. RPG, whatever. That was exciting news for many, I guess. John Wick, finally getting a major gameplay, a major game, not gameplay, of its own. I don't know. I still see it just gonna flop. You know, just because it's John Wick doesn't mean it's gonna be super successful. If they don't fuck it up and make like really nice action sequences and maybe a decent mechanic story, nobody cares about John Wick's story. The main story is they killed my dog and I'm gonna kill all of them. That's pretty much it, right? They just need some maybe more unique gameplay mechanics, like a flawless jump, not jump, but it is gonna be a flawless, smooth transition from like gunfighting from a distance to combat. If they don't do that right, it's gonna flop. I don't care just because it's John Wick named. It's gonna be super successful. He needs to address. MGS4 has pacing issues. Says Haste. 50-50-ish cutscenes, the game ratio. No new memorable characters. Extremely long loading between chapters. Yeah, I agree on the loadings. Cool in 2008, not a great game nowadays. Depends. If you just do like speed runs, you're gonna have like the same feeling, like the older games, games prior to MGS4. Yes, it might have more cutscenes, but that was always a thing since 1. That was always a thing since 1. If you didn't go in Metal Gear Solid 1 to get all the items and all that, and you had the same amount kind of feeling for the cutscenes. That tells me you never did like speed runs on the original. Did you, Haste? At least Raiden wasn't totally gay in MGS4, although he still had high heels. It's not high heels. It's a additional like toe. Kind of. Been thinking of playing MGS games in order. Well, you already started with 1. If you want it in order, like chronologically, you need to play 3. More marathon footage. I don't care for that. Does anybody else care for it? And they told us what it's going to be in PlayStation Plus for this and next month, sort of. Saros is going to be... I don't know how to explain this. Maybe it's going to be like Remnant. A sci-fi Souls-like, but with more range attacks, something like that. It has a lot of Souls-like game feeling. Marvel Tokon, which is gonna be a fighting beat-em-up game. I don't care for that. It seems like very nicely done, just visually, like very cartoonish, but quality behind it. That was probably the biggest announcement for this state of play. God of War Trilogy Remake. They didn't show anything besides the title. So I don't know about the remake myself. If they would have done a remaster, meaning like high texture for 1 and 2, and maybe even higher texture, of course, for number 3, which was a PlayStation 3 game, and releasing it as such for PC, I would be totally up for that, like remaster. Just quality bump, resolution bump, and more smoother gameplay and all that. I am kind of skeptical about the trilogy, man. I'm very skeptical. How they're gonna do the remake? Like in the style of the newer games, God of War 16, and Ragnarok 2019 or 18, something like that. Not that that gameplay style is bad or anything, you know, but the remake gives them always the ability and the chance to put in garbage stuff, like woke nonsense that was not in the original. So I'm just skeptical these days about, even if it comes from them, Santa Monica Studios, gameplay-wise, probably gonna have fun. Because you can have fun with Ragnarok too, right? A lot. I just don't know. I just don't know about that. I'm not hyped. So much is sure. I'm not hyped. God of War Trilogy doesn't need a remake. They've already remastered 1 and 2 on a PS3, and they're pretty solid. Yeah, the remaster for PlayStation 3 looks like neat. Like they bumped resolution and the smoother gameplay and all that for the PlayStation 3. But they didn't bump up the textures that much that it would be something for today's systems. Like just visually, not on the same level. Not the same visual fidelity there. So they should have just made a real next-gen remaster instead of a remake. But maybe it's going to be amazing. I don't know. I'm just skeptical. They're going to censor. No titties? You might be right. Because remember, in God of War 1, 2, and 3, you saw titties, nipples. Female nipples, that is, of course. I don't think I've seen any nipples in the newer ones. Can't remember. Press X to dump. It will be good. I'm pressing it like crazy, in my mind at least. They're going to remove the titties. That's El Masquerada. While they announced this one, they gave people something though already to play. Because after the State of Play, they already released a side-scroller, a prequel of our boy Kratos, how he was raised up as a Spartan. God of War, Sons of Sparta, a side-scroller 2D game. It looks fine, but do I want to buy it? Give them money already? Not so much. So let's go to some other news before we end it. And to some of those games I already showed you, like the title-wise in the State of Play full list there. Ori Studio founder says, "You can kick me in the balls if you ever find a battle pass or microtransaction in a Moon Studio game. As a reminder to not join the dark side." Well, maybe he phrased it wrongly, because Ori is on the Game Pass. You don't need the Game Pass to play it, but Ori is on the Game Pass. At least the second one. The first one, I don't remember. No rest for the wicked. Director Thomas Mahler says you can kick him in the nuts if you ever find microtransaction in one of his games. Mahler, who co-founded Ori developer Moon Studios with Gennady Korol in 2010, took to Twitter in his trademark Firebrand style to put his own health and safety on the line in the name of anti-greed. If we ever put the MTX Battle Pass or microtransaction into one of our games, feel free to walk up to me and kick me in the balls as a reminder to not join the dark side, said Mahler. I strongly feel that quality will always win out in the end because people aren't stupid. I don't know about the people being stupid part, but I admire his statement a lot. And believe it or not, No Rest for the Wicked I bought. It's in early access still. And I know that Haste has it. So if some people want to play it in the future, in the co-op mode, feel free to get it. It has become a little bit more expensive now. I got it for $25. It was on sale for $25. And it was for me worth it because I liked Ori, the Lost Ori, a lot. Visually, it has the same style like Ori. So that seems to be like their thing. And I look forward to playing No Rest for the Wicked. It looks like an action RPG. Kind of Diablo, isometric view and classes and all that. No, there isn't. There isn't what? What are you referring? Still playing Unreal tomorrow? Yes. Yes, of course. The relationship between developers and players always has to be a fair one that tilts in favor of players because players ultimately decide if we get to keep going or not, added Mahler. The developer is the servant and ultimately has the final say, but developers ought to always keep in mind that they are serving the people, not themselves. I, again, admire his mindset a lot. He knows where his fucking butter is coming from for his bread, right? He is not gonna bite any hands. And I support people like that. Keep up that mentality, and you're gonna get the support by players if you make good games, of course. If you fuck up the games because you set up a woke environment, yeah, you might lose. He knows though that too much wokeness probably gonna hurt him and his company. We will always work hard to provide insane value at a reasonable price and in turn you folks getting something of extremely high quality and continue to salivate towards what we are doing next. And that's how it should be. I absolutely agree. So, I mean, the statement about the Game Pass, though, maybe somebody's gonna kick you in the balls. Just saying. Just saying, buddy. First Ori was a pain. Didn't play that, though. Now, about Kena. Again, Kena, I liked a lot. I played it multiple times through. I played it on the highest difficulty. It is annoying with the camera movement, but if you get like acquired your gameplay to the camera movement in that sense, if you manage to go along with the camera movement, I think it's a very enjoyable game overall. For many people, it can destroy the gameplay, but it's just this one tiny thing. Other than that, the game is actually, in every regard, for me, for my taste, a great one. Visually, audio-wise, story was interesting enough in the first one. So this sequel, I'm waiting for the sequel. I didn't expect they're gonna make a sequel, to be very honest, because they never mentioned They are in the making of a sequel and such. This came like as a big surprise for me, at least. The only bad thing in the first game was, like, story-wise, she had to save the lesbian couple. Big deal. It was not for me a game breaker. The lesbian couple was not a game breaker for me. Publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment and developer Ember Lab have announced Kena Bridge of a Spirit sequel, Kena Scars of Cosmora, for PlayStation 5 and PC, Steam Epic Game Store. It will launch in 2026. You should launch the prequel, the original one, on GOG as usual, and this one also on GOG. This one might be a game full price I would pay on GOG, to be honest, because they didn't piss me off with the first one. Very simple. Visually, it looks very decent. It has this old school Disney, maybe kind of Ghibli, whatever, however you want to pronounce it, Ghibli feel, like just the character design. And you can give this game to your kids, and they can enjoy like a good game overall. It's not really violent, but it teaches them like to consider their movement, to consider like their gameplay style. You know, you want to be more of a archer, or in that sense, how you avoid damage income and all that. It's a Souls-like game after all. And it can be very difficult. If you go for the highest difficulty, it's going to be a nice challenge. So much is sure. It's the time you have listed for Unreal Swiss time. It should be on your time. What does it tell you? Speak in Discord later for that. In about 20 minutes or so. So I'm waiting for this one. I'm waiting for the Kena sequel here. Yeah, they don't show you anything in the trailer. They just tell us, some black dude is telling us about how great Santa Monica, blah, blah, blah is. Sony Santa Monica Studio has announced God of War Trilogy, a remake for PS5. It's all in the title, really. This is a full remake of all three original God of War games. And, well, that's all we've got to go on this at this point in time. The project is still in early development, but we have been promised updates as things progress. It'll be very interesting to see whether the remake adopts the gameplay style of the God of War titles, of the new God of War titles, or whether it'll stick to its old fixed camera hack and slash formula from the PS2 and PS3 days. Which I doubt it's going to be the old formula. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the new style. Otherwise, why would you remake it? Just to put the Vogue stuff in it, but have the same camera movement and fixed cameras? Doubtful. Metal Gear Solid 4 and Peace Walker coming as Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2. Konami is collecting a few more Metal Gear Solid games into the second volume of its Master Collection. One of these ones are especially hard to play without their original hardware. The collection includes Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, along with the PSP game Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, piece of shit maybe, and the Game Boy Color game Metal Gear Ghost Babel. Never take a look at that either. The three of the games are coming in the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2, which will be released on August 27th. This collection was revealed during the PlayStation State of Play. The collection also includes a digital soundtrack. The first Metal Gear Solid collection included the first three Metal Gear Solid games, along with the original Metal Gear games for a good measure, which were MSX games, the Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2. I mean, most people are gonna buy this collection just because of Metal Gear Solid 4. So the value is not really there for the Game Boy game included and the PSP game included. And there was another PSP game, don't remember the title at all. And there was a PSP novel, interactive novel too. They could have included that in this one as a collection too. Why not? I don't get it. I don't understand why Konami being Konami here. So most people are gonna spend $40, something like that, on this collection. Mainly, absolutely mainly for the Metal Gear Solid 4 game. I'm not sure if the value is really there. $40 for those amount of games, nah. Let's talk a little bit more about Legacy of Kain, because I kind of like a lot of the Legacy of Kain lore. And it's a crazy lore. It's an interesting lore about demons. It's about vampires. It's about evolving, two evolving like lines here from a certain point. And some are the good ones and some are the bad ones and all that. So it's a very interesting lore overall. Legacy of Kain Defiance is getting a proper remaster. Includes a demo of never before seen cancelled game. Legacy of Kain Defiance is finally getting the remaster it's long deserved, and it in addition to a much nicer looking and playing game. Those who purchase the deluxe edition will get a never before seen demo of the cancelled 6th Legacy of Kain game, The Dark Prophecy. Announced today, the Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered will release on March 3rd, 2026 for PS5, PS4, Switch, Switch 2, Xbox, and PC via Steam, GOG, and Epic Game Store. And as usual, if it's going to be like the same price or maybe a buck or two more, get the GOG version. I don't know why people still buy Steam versions or Epic Game Store versions when you can have the same experience, the same game, without a DRM. In very rare occasions, you get like the GOG version only as a single player game, meaning the co-op is out of questions on GOG. But usually you get the same. Usually you get the exact same. And Legacy of Kain Defiance is a single player game, so it's a no-brainer. Why would you go anywhere else? It's developed by Crystal Dynamics and Play Everywhere. And per franchise general manager Matt McCloskey, or Kloskey, is based heavily on the digitalization of the massive archive that we actually found in a closet at the Crystal Dynamics San Mateo office. Somebody was smart enough, like, let's just archive those original assets and shit. It's so weird that old companies or companies with older IPs just made stuff and never cared for like archiving and making like the certain availability for the particular versions of games, you know. Not very forward looking, I guess. This is a remaster, not a remake, but there's a lot to it. The graphics, lighting, and cinematics, audio, and music player have all gotten a major touch-up alongside the controls and HUD. New in this version is a third-person floating camera view, though you can toggle back to the original camera view if you prefer the old look. Awesome, I love Legacy of Kain. No pre-compiled shader delivery for GOG games on Steam and Deck and Linux. Is that good or bad for you? Off to work we go. Bye, Mrs. Sarge and dear Sarge. Later all, she says. I like this a lot. I would like it more though if they did a remaster of the very first Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen. I love that game, but it didn't age very well. The community had many attempts on making it a remaster version, meaning like higher resolution maps and screens and all that, but never came to a full game out yet as a remaster. They should put more effort in the original Legacy Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen. I mean, you can use like the original audio. I don't care for the audio. It is like lower quality, of course, but still, if you manage to make it just visually, don't change gameplay-wise anything else. Just make it visually like in today's appearance in some sense, right? I would love to see a remaster of the very original one. The downloadable shaders are a big performance benefit that the Windows game doesn't have. Yeah, but you could maybe... I don't care for the preloaded shaders bullshit. John's underrated. Ahoy, John. The longest I had to wait for compiling shaders was, for me, probably Ghost of Tsushima. It was over in 90 seconds to 120 seconds, meaning 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. It's a one-time thing. I really don't care too much for that. Less hitching and less traversal stutter, Ike. I don't. If a game has those issues, usually the game has the issues like very deeply. Let's go to more nostalgia here. PS1 Time Crisis targeting PS5, PS4 with gyro aiming via PS Plus Premium. Bandai Namco, which was only Namco back then, just saying, is one of the biggest and honestly only supporters of PS Plus Premium's classics catalog. It's perhaps no surprise to learn that the original Time Crisis game is coming to PS5 and PS4 as an emulated PS1 title then. What's particularly notable about this release is that implicit conversation has added a new layer to its emulator, allowing you to experience the traditional light gun gameplay using the DualSense and DualShock Force motion controls. I was never into the sense control stuff. Never. I didn't have a Wii either, Nintendo Wii. How accurate can that be really with a DualSense and the DualShock 4 control? I'm super skeptical that's going to be any fun, especially with a original light gun game, because the biggest fun was you holding a piece of plastic that represents a gun towards your screen and do some movement. Doing this with a DualShock, I'm not sure. Has anybody played any game like this? And it's fun? I have no idea. They should release Time Crisis on Wii. On the Wii, release on the Wii, really, La Masquerade? Your phrasing should be different. They should have released on the Wii, like in the past. Maybe 10 years ago, that would have been possible. But there might be a mod. There might be a mod for the Wii. Who knows? No, they didn't do Time Crisis on the Wii. Namco was never really super big in Nintendo, on the Nintendo consoles in general. I mean, these days they don't care a lot on the Switch. Subhaste, hi Sintner. You didn't love the PS3 6-axis and layer Ike? No. I always hated that motion stuff. A controller for me, I just want to hold in my hand and not do like awkward. Here, my DualShock 3 controller. No, fuck that. I'm retarded. I'm not that retarded. Obviously, that's not going to feel like you've got a gun con in was it gun con? I'm not sure if that's probably gun con in your hand and a big CRT monitor in front of you. But heck, it's better than nothing. Again, I think nothing is in this case better, at least for me. I still have the original GunCon 2, I think it is named, for the PlayStation 2. It's not going to work on any of my displays, sure, but I still have it. Well, heck, I have also a mouse for PlayStation 1. I guess I could play Warcraft, or the original Warcraft 2, which I also still have for my PlayStation, with the mouse. Never tried it, though. But I have a mouse for that, though. Kind of awkward stuff today, for sure. There's a method, though, at least for PC, where you can have light guns. Not light guns per se, but newer guns with, I think they have two cameras, one in the gun and another one that looks at the gun itself. And it supposedly works very well. I have it somewhere in my favorites on Firefox on browser. If you want to know about that, ask me in Discord. That would be probably the best way to find out about that gun. Xbox Kinect, fuck that shit. I mean, that was not like motion. It was motion capturing. It was not motion controller. Archmajunk, yep, vampire dogs are hard to walk. Vampire dogs? Did you have a vampire dog? I didn't saw you capturing a vampire dog. Happy Friday the 13th, by the way. It is Friday the 13th. The horror starts today, and it continues tomorrow with the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, for many people. Today the horror starts, and it continues tomorrow, Valentine's Day. It's a scam. It's a scam day, just to make money for the flower sellers and gift cards producers. Shoulder muscles. Yeah, let the monster flow through you. No, don't. Don't listen to John. He is from Romania. He wants you to become a vampire. Now, Konami had a lot of games already in the state of play, right? But they have something coming up this year, and it's probably going to be something very big for them in general. Konami has more new Castlevania games for the series' 40th anniversary. The iconic Castlevania franchise turns 40 later this year. That's 4 decades. That's kind of impressive. The company is still around, and it's still producing and having those IPs and making new games all the time. To be honest, I just don't like their pricing schemes for me as a Swiss citizen in Switzerland right now on Steam. Fuck them for that. And Konami is looking to celebrate the occasion in style. It has Belmont's Curse confirmed for the release on PS5 later this year, but that's not all it'll have. A post on the Castlevania Portal site reveals the new Metroidvania title is just the beginning of numerous new products around Castlevania. While this could encompass other media efforts, there's been a Netflix TV series, for example. You'd think more Castlevania games would be part of the celebratory push. Elsewhere, the message says Castlevania will be revived in this commemorative year of 2026. Castlevania Belmont's Curse is only the first title to mark the 40th anniversary, which Konami expands with. We couldn't think in other studios to work together rather than Evil Empire and Motion Twin, studios brimming with talent and passion, to deliver a new exploration-based 2D action game that captures the essence of Castlevania while bringing fresh innovation. Yeah, I just don't like the visuals that much of this new upcoming thing. And they showed us this overture, which just looks very dark, but it is not telling us anything about what's really coming, what kind of game they might release in addition. We can just check it out. Are you on 1080p? You probably are not. Liar. It's 1 minute long, so we can see what mindset Konami has for Castlevania. It looks very grim, right? So skulls, some rituals going on. The moon being swallowed by some black goo. Kind of like the music style. It is very spot on Castlevania. Funny enough, I never liked the original Castlevanias. Like the side scrollers 2D on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. I liked Lords of Shadows a lot. Symphony of the Night, I should play at one point though. Never got to play that through. Are you fans of Konami and Castlevania? If yes, I hope you're going to be excited. And I hope they don't piss off the fan base. Last little piece of news, which is kind of interesting, which makes more sense. They should have done that years and years ago. Steam reviews will now let you share what hardware you used to run games. Valve has started testing a new feature that will allow users to add hardware specifications to user reviews, giving you more information when attempting to determine how a game might run on your own PC. The update, which is currently being deployed to the Steam beta client, will give users the ability to attach hardware information to user reviews instead of just relying on users entering this text in the text directly. The patch notes don't mention how or if these specifications will be verified by Steam or whether this information is going to be sourced from Steam's optional hardware survey database. I hope they don't request or demand like any verification stuff, because usually those are like kind of immersive for me, too immersive, meaning they're asking from you like maybe an email, an additional email, verify, and just don't do that. Just make it like what is the word I'm looking for? Voluntarily. Just voluntarily, the people can scan their system once, and it's in the Steam client, and you can add it or not add it to your reviews. It's just a good like insight for other people to see if it's gonna run on your system the same or not. You know, I think it's a good idea. They should have done that way earlier than today in beta. I am in past ammo, very late to the game, because so late we already are over the news. Kind of interesting news today. We had a new CEO of Disney being a super big in gaming, right? We had Highguard telling us first, yeah, we don't need you all millions of players. We don't care. That's not success, right? And we had a lot of Resident Evil news, a lot of Capcom news. Overall, very diverse news. And there's one funny news about the Expedition 33 art book being confiscated because they thought it was an ancient book. What a stupid thing. That's good, I guess. Hardware specs. That's good. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, weekend. Reminder, if you're in Discord and you're just bitching around in about half a month, whatever, right? Because they are gonna require your age being verified. Don't just sit around. Get into my Element server already. Links down below again. They are there. Don't listen to Ouch My Junk, who can't click and read, like, show more. But he managed to go now on Element. Be a little bit more diverse yourself in the sense of communication tools. Yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed the weekend. Tomorrow we gonna play some Unreal Tournament, the original from 1999. Join the Discord right now, as long as you can. You have all the resources for free available. You can download them, install them, and play it. It's gonna be flawless working on Windows machines. You might need to tweak here and there certain stuff if you're gonna be on Mac OS or Linux. But what can I say? It was never originally on Mac or Linux. So yeah. But we're gonna have fun. I'm gonna shoot off some heads, and they're gonna be pissed at me because I'm kind of pretty good on a certain map, at least. Thank you for the gifted, El Mascarada and Haste. Very much appreciated. Big boys giving big monies to me. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.